What's happening? It's John from Long Island. It's Friday, December 13th. I figured I'd make a video of my Spotify Wrapped. Spotify Wrapped comes out every year. Pretty much tells you what you've been listening to all year. Gives you a nice package, creates some playlists for you, stuff like that. It was all the rage last week, so I want to make a video showing mine. Now, they do lists of your top 10 songs, top 5 artists. So I figured I'd make it easy and give you my top 5 artists according to Spotify. Nothing really comes as a surprise on this, although some omissions. There's no Grateful Dead, no Black Sabbath. But when I think about it more and more, I mostly listen to that shit on vinyl. I don't put it on Spotify typically. Spotify I listen to at the gym, in the car, when people come over to the house. We just throw it on a Bluetooth speaker. So either way, that's what goes on with Spotify for me. So what I want to do with this is, of my top 5 artists, I want to show you my favorite record from those top five artists. There's two exceptions to that, and I'll get into it. So here we'll go with number 5, and this is one of the exceptions. Black Crowes. This is Amorica from 1994 on American Recordings. My favorite Black Crowes record is by far Southern Harmony and Musical Companion from '92, but I've talked about that album so many times, I have nothing more to say about it. So I'll tell you a little bit about this one. This is the follow-up to Southern Harmony. A little more experimental, less blues-driven rock, less not I want to say country, but less roots rock than the other two. But it's a great record. I wouldn't turn this one down at all. This is original pressing from 1994. I paid $10.99 for it back in the day. I've never opened it. It could be the elusive white vinyl edition. I don't know. I've never opened it. But they've re-released it since then, so maybe one of these days I'll open it. The cover was banned a few months after it was released, as you can see why. This was taken from the July 1976 edition of Hustler magazine for the bicentennial, and they re-released it with just blacked out. So that was that. All right, my number 4 most listened to artist. Again, one of my favorite bands, Rancid. This is their self-titled from 2000. I got into Rancid a little late. I got into them with the Out Come the Wolves album. That was in 1995. Great record, and you could say that's their best, and is regarded as their best. You wouldn't be wrong. I got into them on that record. Every song on that record is good. But when this came out, it just blew me away. And Rancid, for me, they came out at a time where a lot of the punk revival was coming out, with bands like No Effects, Offspring, Green Day. I avoided all that shit because to me it wasn't real punk. But Rancid is the outlier. They're real punk out of those bands, and so I got into them late, like I said. So after Out Come the Wolves was Life Won't Wait, which is a great record, more experimental though, more of like the Clash type deal, But they came back with this one and ripped it up. It's 22 songs in 44 minutes. Every one of them is good. I don't know if there's a sing-song chorus gone. None of that shit. No Ruby Soho type stuff. It's just brutal. And it's great with the classic lineup: Lars Fredrickson, Tim Armstrong, Matt Freeman, and Brett Reed. 2000 self-titled Hellcat Records. Great. All right, my number 3 most listened to artist. Here's the other exception. I can't find my favorite record from this one. I'm going to give you my favorite 2. This is Lana Del Rey, Ultraviolence, 2014, and Norman fucking Rockwell from 2019. I've spoken about Lana Del Rey so many times, I have nothing more to say about her. She's awesome. If you're not a fan, get either one of these albums and check them out. You're not going to be disappointed. The mood of these albums, Norman fucking Rockwell was a little more grand, a little more I don't want to say experimental, but a little more of an experience. Where Ultraviolence is very bleak, very I say one-dimensional in the mood, not musically one-dimensional, but in the mood-wise one-dimensional. Norman fucking Rockwell was a little more diverse with the moods and the emotions. Great records though, in my opinion. My second 2 most listened to artist, again another one, Casey Musgraves. This is Deeper Well. I've spoken about her to the point where I want to throw up. Awesome artist. I can't say enough about it. This is the alternate cover. So There's that on transparent cream vinyl. I didn't open this one yet because I have it on two other versions I do listen to. Every song on this record's good. You can't go wrong with any of them. And last, this is my most listened to artist according to Spotify. The Dropkick Murphys' Sing Loud, Sing Proud. This is from 2000 on Hellcat Records. Dropkick Murphys, I got into them right before this album came out. One of my buddies had it on a compilation. I think a Hellcat Records compilation or some shit. Give Them the Boot, maybe, I think it was called. I could be wrong, though. I'd heard of them. Always liked the name of them, you know. But I grouped them into those bands in the late 90s, those kind of Vans Warped Tour bands, you know, like the Millencolin, 10 Foot Pole, No Effects, you know, those types of guys, where Blink-182, where I'm like, it's not real punk. The stuff of that the Dropkick Murphys prior to this was more punk oriented, more street punk. This is where they made the full transition to Celtic punk. James Barton, the original guitar player, he actually appears on this, a couple tracks, but he left and replaced by James Lynch from the Ducky Boys and Mark Orrell, who was like 17 at the time. This is their second full length with Al Barr as a vocalist. My favorite record. Like I said, I got into them right before this. And when this came out, I got it immediately, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was this stuff that, it was punk rock, but it was Celtic punk to the I don't know, to the point of where it was very reminiscent of the stuff that I would hear as a kid. Now, I'm not Irish. Allegedly, I'm half Italian, half Norwegian. I haven't done a 23andMe, so I can't tell you if that's true. I can tell you what I'm told, you know. So my mother's side of the family, who was Norwegian, they had a lot of Irish friends. My grandparents did. And I remember that music from when I was a kid, you know, young kid. I'm talking the late 70s, early 80s, because they passed in, I think, 81. Both my mother's parents, so it was before that. So I remember hearing these Celtic songs, these Irish folk songs, these Irish, you know, what was popular, and it stayed with me. Now, they don't really appear on this, but the sound does. The bagpipes, the accordion, the tin whistle, that kind of shit. So when I heard this album, I was a lifelong fan of the Dropkick Murphys. They put out another maybe another good 3 albums after this, and then they made that transition to a family-oriented cop rock band, if you want to call it that, where they no longer a punk band, and I kind of lost interest, you know. But again, when the Murphys would come around, we'd see them we'd see multiple times, because their shows were amazing. I saw them on this tour, and they were wild. I think Lars Frederiksen and the Bastards opened up for them when I saw them. I saw them at the Wetlands, that old New York City club back in the day. But hey, if you never heard the Dropkick Murphys, this is probably where you want to start. This is kind of where they started really doing the Celtic punk thing, and it's my favorite record. And I'll always, always have a special place in my heart. This record. The cover, that's an actual mural in South Boston. It's still there. I went on Google Earth the other day and I found it, so it's still there. What else to say about this record? No, not a whole lot. Just every song's good. They open up with For Boston, which is Boston College's fight song, which is wild. It's a great song. They're very proud of their Irish heritage. They're very proud of their Boston heritage, and I enjoy that. I'm not a New Yorker who has the that grudge against New England and Boston, like a lot of New Yorkers do. I think that Boston has a lot in common with New York, as a matter of fact. But to see guys who are that proud of where they're from and sing about it all the time, I like it. So there you have it. Those are my 5. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.